Do you know that nearly 1% of the US population consists of malignant narcissists? These aren't just demanding bosses or manipulative friends. These individuals could be plotting your downfall, or even worse. Today, I'm unpacking the top 10 warning signs of malignant narcissists you absolutely need to know. Watching this video might just save your job, your relationships, or even your life. Please pay close attention as I go through each sign to determine if someone in your life might be secretly undermining you. Malignant narcissists don't just think they're better than everyone else. They see themselves as almost godlike, with an inherent right to dominate others in harmful and oppressive ways. This isn't about simple ego inflation. It's a perilous mix of grandiosity and aggression, far exceeding ordinary narcissism, and venturing into something much darker and more destructive. Here are the 10 signs. 1. They are jealous. It's not just that they're jealous over someone else's success or relationships. They see all of it as a personal attack on their own status and power. And when they feel jealous, they go out of their way to tear down whatever good thing someone else has going. In their twisted view, knocking someone else down a peg is how they stay on top. 2. They are paranoid. Malignant narcissists often exhibit an intense and irrational distrust of others, believing that those around them are out to deceive, harm, or take advantage of them. This pervasive mistrust colors all their interactions. Due to their paranoia, they are constantly on the defensive. They always strike first at anyone they even suspect might be a threat, often blowing totally innocent stuff way out of proportion. Why? Because in their world, you're either the hammer or the nail. Both jealousy and paranoia is their way of armoring up. Paranoia protects their fragile ego from any hint of attack or criticism. Jealousy motivates them to remain in control. Both are rooted in deep insecurity and a distorted self-image that is typical of narcissistic personality disorder, but malignant narcissists take it to the extreme. 3. They are predatory aggressors. This isn't just random anger. It's cold, calculated, completely intentional. Malignant narcissists meticulously plan how to dominate others, often by exploiting perceived weaknesses. Their ultimate goals? Power, control, and material gain. They use their aggression to bend people to their will, seeing others merely as pawns. At the core of this behavior is a stark lack of empathy. To them, people are just tools. They truly believe they deserve to take whatever they want from others, regardless of the consequences. This aggression manifests in the worst ways possible: fraud, theft, emotional manipulation, and physical abuse. It's not an occasional lapse. It's a consistent, long-term pattern that deeply damages their victims and leaves lasting scars on both personal and professional relationships. This makes predatory aggression one of the most dangerous traits of malignant narcissists, and when they don't get what they want, expect them to resort to violence. 4. They rage a lot. The intensity of this rage is typically far greater than the situation warrants, often surprising those who witness it. This rage can be verbally abusive and physically violent. Why does this happen? Malignant narcissists often have an inflated self-view that is paradoxically very fragile. Any threat to this self-image, no matter how slight, can trigger an intense rage as they attempt to defend their ego. Rage serves as a tool for regaining control and reasserting dominance if they feel it slipping away. By intimidating others, they reestablish their position of power. Their rage is retaliatory and meant to instill fear and compliance. This type of rage indicates a significant inability to regulate emotions. Often their rage is fueled by projection, a defense mechanism where they attribute their own negative qualities or intentions to others. 5. They exploit people. Regular narcissists exploit people too, but their behavior usually stems from a need for admiration and validation, not a deliberate intent to control or harm. Unlike malignant narcissists, their exploitation tends to be more passive, focusing on self-promotion and seeking compliments rather than actively deceiving or harming others. Malignant narcissists, on the other hand, believe they deserve more than everyone else, which they use to justify their exploitative actions as simply claiming what's rightfully theirs. Unlike regular narcissists or empathetic individuals who feel some emotional restraint, malignant narcissists lack any concern for the feelings or well-being of others. This allows them to exploit without guilt. Their approach to relationships is entirely transactional. People are valued only for their utility, not their inherent worth. Malignant narcissists dehumanize and objectify those around them, which psychologically distances them from recognizing any of their victims' humanity. This detachment enables them to manipulate others without internal conflict. They construct narratives where their harmful actions are deemed necessary or even virtuous. Through projection, they label others as dishonest or manipulative, creating a convenient excuse to mistreat them. This exploitation not only satisfies their need for control, but also bolsters their self-image as powerful and superior. Understanding malignant narcissists is tricky because they show two conflicting sides. On one hand, they are manipulative and believe they deserve everything. On the other, they actually feel very vulnerable and insecure deep down. Getting to grips with this complex mix of traits is key to fully understanding how they behave. 6. They scheme. Malignant narcissists have an intense need to dominate and control their environments and the people in them. Scheming allows them to orchestrate situations where they can assert this control and manipulate outcomes in their favor. Also, their paranoia drives them to believe that others are constantly trying to undermine or attack them, and so scheming becomes a way to counteract these perceived threats. Scheming is justified in their minds as a rightful method to obtain what they believe they are owed. They construct complex justifications for their schemes, often believing that their actions are not only justified but noble. Usually, this scheming gets them quick wins, like more power, better control, some material perks, or just a boost to their ego, and every time they score one of these wins, it just encourages them to scheme even more. But their scheming also often causes conflicts and breaks relationships, which just convinces them even more that the world is out to get them and that they need to keep manipulating to stay safe. 7. They have delusions of grandeur. Malignant narcissists believe themselves to be important and powerful in a way that is disconnected from reality. At the core of all this grandstanding is actually a pretty fragile self-esteem. By convincing themselves that they're better than anyone, they dodge facing any negative thoughts that might knock their confidence. This kind of thinking really just covers up their past shortcomings, failures, or insecurities. By puffing themselves up this way, they manage to mentally and emotionally block out the parts of their life or past that are too painful to deal with. And if people around them buy into this grandiosity, they are less likely to challenge the narcissist's authority or actions. Malignant narcissists often play up their successes and downplay their failures, which just feeds into their skewed view of how capable and important they think they are. They tend to push their own goals and wants onto everyone else, expecting people to admire and applaud their greatness. They really need this kind of outside approval to keep up their own illusions about themselves. 8. They are sadistic. Malignant narcissists feel powerful, superior, and in control when they hurt people. Since there is no empathy involved, emotional distress of others feels distant and unimportant. They view the world in black and white. You're either with them or against them. From their perspective, hurting others is a justified reaction. What they see as threats or betrayal. They actually enjoy the dominance and suffering they inflict on others. This pleasure shows you just how demented they are. Additionally, inflicting pain serves as a way for them to cope with their own negative emotions. When they feel anxious, depressed, or inadequate, lashing out helps them feel better temporarily. 9. They are pathological liars. Malignant narcissists use lies as their core strategy, and unlike regular narcissists, they use these lies offensively. They lie to control how others see reality, a tactic known as gaslighting. They lie to take advantage of others. By making up stories or twisting the truth, they exploit people's weaknesses. This could be for money, to manipulate emotions, or to gain more power in their relationships or at work. They also lie to protect their image. Lastly, they lie to intimidate and control others. Through threats and scary stories, they keep people anxious and under their thumb, more willing to do what they want and less likely to stand up to them. No matter why malignant narcissists lie, their way always has a clear and often cruel purpose to control, to manipulate and harm for their own benefit. The impact of their deceit is also more severe, often leading to significant emotional, psychological, or even physical damage to others. 10. They twist morals to justify their actions. Malignant narcissists think they can do whatever they want, often blaming their actions on things they claim are unfair or on people who they say have wronged them. Driven by a need for power and always looking out for themselves, they twist morals to suit their needs. They truly believe they're better than everyone else, so they come up with all sorts of excuses that sound reasonable, but are actually just lies. This way, they can keep feeling good about themselves without any guilt. They're also quite skilled at projection, as I have already mentioned before. That's where they blame others of the very things they're guilty of. This not only takes the heat off them, but also makes it look like they're just defending themselves. Plus, they're really good at playing on people's emotions by making them feel guilty or outraged to get what they want or to turn people against those they see as enemies. By bending all of the acceptable societal rules, they get what they want, but they ruin lives and they make the world around them toxic. Know someone who shows any of these signs? Walk away. Don't waste your time trying to change them. They're not changing for anyone.